Atumar Sharirais Nagmanad Bagra Vatu Parokatavad Navshasan Omnatrana Minad Hayain Nulakmar Hayavin and Naudevanascod Vanshamba Golanda Maradugol Lalmi
Today is Sunday, March 19, 2017. We are at the chapel of St. John Damasceno College at Via Boccea in Rome. We have today Father Saji Mattathil with us. And Father Saji Mattathil is a very interesting person for the Aramaic Project for many reasons. First of all, Father Saji is a young priest who belongs to the new generation, who celebrates Mass, solemn high Mass, sung Mass in the Syriac language. He has learned Syriac language and he has a very special vocal inflection that suits the melodies, the articulation of the melodies in the Syriac language. Another reason why he is interesting is because he has ventured into a topic of doctoral dissertation, an intellectually challenging topic for his doctoral dissertation at Santa Croce College. The topic is Perception of the Messianic Prophecies in the Peshitta Bible, meaning how the Hebrew text has been received, translated into the Aramaic text. Very challenging and very interesting topic. Sajiju Isham, thank you for sparing your time. You are a great blessing for the Syro Malabar Church and also the church in India, and you are a great blessing for the Aramaic Project. I was so thrilled to hear your way of singing. And before we come to the singing part, tell us a little more about your doctoral dissertation.
It involves the comparative study of Messianic prophecy. I focus on Prophet Isaiah, chapters 7, 9 and 11. The Messianic prophecies contained in these chapters, how it was translated, that means how it was received in this Syriac milieu. So because Peshitta is one of the ancient translations. Scholars say that it is translated between 50 AD and 150 AD. So it has a very textual value. When we search for the original text of the Hebrew, so I may be one of the pioneers in that. Of course, there are Peshitta scholars who have done many studies on this, but it is a big ocean. Especially because for us as Syro Malabar, coming from the Syriac tradition from India, I think I haven't come across anyone has entered into a scientific study of our scriptures, Syriac scriptures. Of course, in the Malpanate system, earlier we have a translation of Manikathanar. There were scholars before.
You mean Malayalam translation of the Peshitta Bible.
In the Catholic tradition.
Now, this is such a intellectually challenging topic which requires primarily a deep knowledge of the Syriac language, the nuances of the Syriac language. What's your background of your Syriac language studies?
2006 to 2008, for 3 years, I have been in Syria, Qad Qayen. I have done a post-graduation in Syriac. Also, I have been teaching in the seminaries this language. All this started, I think, we have Changanassi Archdiocese has taken up missionary activities in North India. So I have opted for that. So
You opted for the North Indian mission.
North Indian mission. Yeah. So
Interesting journey.
Yeah, it's a very interesting journey. So I started my seminary studies in North India. Minor seminary I was in Agra, and philosophy I was in Allahabad seminary, and then theology in Madhya Pradesh in Satna. So in fact in Satna, when we were doing theology, there was a project or undertaking to translate the liturgy of ours into Hindi.
Oh,
yeah.
You mean from Syria?
No, that's a turning point. I'll come to that. So the translation was felt need because we don't have according to the text which we are using now. So from the professors, from the teaching staff in Satna, they had this initiative. Of course, Abraham Mattathil, our former bishop of Satna.
Yes.
So with his initiatives, it was taken up. So I had a special interest for literature. I had done a master's in literature. So I was put in that committee to translate. So it has begun when I was a theology student, of course along with others. Then once I was ordained, I was singularly interested in completing this task. So during this work of translating, many times I was blocked to get the sense which is in Malayalam.
Okay. So you mean to say the translation was from Malayalam to Hindi?
Yeah.
From Malayalam version to Hindi.
The present synodal liturgy of ours.
Yes.
That was the text. So while doing that, I have realized I'm doing a translation from a secondary source.
Okay.
So I thought this is not the right way. It's a gradual progression. So I found many times things are not clear in Malayalam text. So I had to ask what is actually intended, because once a translator does not know what is the real sense, he cannot translate.
Yes.
So that was a spark. I should know the source. Otherwise, it cannot be a good, faithful translation. So then, that's how it all started.
Beautiful, wonderful. Now, we celebrated Mass this morning in this chapel. We celebrated the feast of Saint Joseph, and we sang songs in Syriac, and you were leading the choir. I noticed you have a special vocal inflection that's quite suitable for the articulation of the Syriac syllables. How did you come into that aspect of the musical aspect?
I had some training in Hindustani music.
Oh,
because Allahabad is one of the centers.
Yes.
The Prayag Sangeet Samiti is just close to the seminary, and also there is an institute, a para institute, or intensive training is given for 2 months, so that what is taught in the Prayag Sangeet Samiti, that is being taught in one year. Taught in an intense form in Pachimali. There is a training. So in the vacation times, in summer vacations, I used to go there, and so that's how the Hindustani music. Also gazhals.
Okay.
I used to listen. So gazhals, there is a Semitic.
Yes. Urdu language and the vocal inflections
there. So somehow that has influenced me. This background has helped me when I came to the learning of Syriac songs. Also, I think the first song which I heard from Syriac, that was in the seminary. One professor had once in an occasion sang Kandishala.
Okay.
So that was the first time in my memory to have heard that. But later on, when I reflect, when I heard that song, I thought, no, this I have heard somewhere. But to my memory, that was the first time. I'm almost 25 years old that time when I heard this. But later on, when I reflect now, I think my home parish, we had an elderly priest as the parish priest.
Home parish where?
Chanyoli, St. Sebastian's. So he used to sing. My parents used to tell me he used to sing because that is a transition period. the elderly priests still used to sing the Syriac.
Yeah.
So maybe these, when I was very young, in my mother's lap or in hand, I used to hear. So that must have gone into the... So when I started listening to the Syriac songs, I thought I felt at home.
You resonated.
I think it's somewhere there in the blood. I felt like that. So that was very natural. Like all these North Indian formation, the Hindustani music, all these are just like building up or paving the way for. Of course, later on, as the intellectual studies, I became more and more convinced how blessed we are, how rich a patrimony to which I belong.
Okay, let me interrupt you. And since we spoke about since I told our viewers that you have a special vocal inflection, could you sing a chant that shows it to our viewers?
I will sing the samples.
Okay.
Qad Qayen
Vamshavahindla Shalvau Kare Hana
Beautiful. I heard your recordings. Your voice comes out in a very nice way. The recorded version of your voice is so beautiful. And in the recording, a few lay people sang with you. Tell us about them. How did you teach them? What was the experience of your teaching, conveying this language and music to them? How did they pick it up?
In fact, the choir which ultimately came into the Syriac scene, they did not have a prior formation of singing, but they had a sense of liturgical music. So it's a choir which has been singing for ordinations.
Okay.
Ordinations. So, of course, I have to mention my colleague, Father Joseph Patil.
Oh, okay.
He's also a student of Syri, and he just 1 year after me, he has undertaken studies. And this choir, they had a background of liturgical music. So when you observe them, they sing in such a way that they are not performing. It's rather praying through music. So it has been well observed and appreciated by others. It was easy for them to come into learning Syriac. Of course, this was not easy, because they had, just like me as I entered, they too did not have any background of
Syriac.
Initially it was a bit difficult, because the first one, Qrbana, we took, of course I did not start with Qrbana because it is chant. We started from songs which are rather easier.
More rhythmically steady.
Steady chant. So it was a gradual, not forceful but gradual progression. But it took, initially it was taking to learn, coming to the learning of chant, it was taking 1 week, 2 weeks or sometimes 3 weeks to learn one
chant.
Sugdanaho
Did they pick up the pronunciation of the Syriac words easily? How did you manage to get that Syriac flavor in the vocalization?
It was not that difficult. After all, our Malayalam literature, of course, have
all the necessary phonemes.
Yes, phonemes. And of course, when you speak, I have to go Kollal. This has got a Semitic background. Katal is the word which is used.
Katal is for killing.
Katal, Kollal. Or the writing, Kottuga, we say Kottuga. This is Kitab. Kottuga. So there are so many words.
Close affinity between the phonemes.
So many Aramaic words that has come into our literature, our day-to-day language, of course. Pamoris, all other liturgical words.
Now those are Aramaic words transferred as it is. But we are talking about Aramaic words that have been slowly changed into Kital, into Kollal, and Kitab to Kisab, and so on.
There are two types, which are loaned words.
Yes.
But just like Yause become Yause, or this Chaco, or James Jacob becoming Chaco. So there are two types of words which you have. So the language itself is helpful in this.
My question is, those people who sing along with you, do they do it just because they love you, or do they enjoy singing the Syriac text?
Of course, I think we will have the opportunity to ask them directly.
Yes, I'm eager.
But I think what my experience working with them, they will be lost in while singing.
Syriac chants.
And Syriac.
Young Kerala people lost in singing Syriac chants.
Yes.
This is fascinating news. I'm eager to see them and talk to them and to get their version. But you think that they enjoy doing this. It gives us great hope that this tradition can be transferred to the next generation. And you used to go for solo part of Qurbana in Kerala, and they used to accompany you. And
of course, I'll have to mention my colleague. We were working as a team. Patil.
Okay.
Because this is actually his choir. And while we were studying together, then it was actually in Punatura, the home parish of our Archbishop Joseph Perundot. I was doing pastoral work there while studying Syriac. So in one of the parish fest, parish priest asked me, you are studying in Syriac, why don't you celebrate the Mass in Syriac for our feast? So this provoked me, and then I tried. Then my friend came, okay, we have our friends. So that was the first.
So by the time you were at home with the Syriac Taksa?
Not fully in the sense I was celebrating little by little. One time, one slow sound.
As I did today?
Yeah. So gradually, so when this priest has asked me, that was, we took it intensely. Intensively started practicing, and that as a target, of course, my professor, Father Poli Manian, he also, though he is my professor, we studied Syriac together. So it is good to keep a target, so we started intensive practice, and these people happily came.
The choir
came, and then every day, one 1.5 or 2 hours we started practice.
Just give a little more clarity about the choir. Men, women, children?
Initially it was one family. We basically I was actually training the children in the parish.
Even in the parish?
In the parish. The catechism children as well as the choir there.
Okay.
We made the Shisushis from the parish. The youth came as well as the choir members. Then for some portion of the mass which can be sung by all, I used to give practice to
such as
Kadishalaha, Lakmara.
You mean the whole congregation sang? I wish you had a video of this. I get goosebumps when you say this. The whole congregation sang Syriac chants, Kandishalaha. My goodness.
So the first time when I celebrated, it was very beyond words to express. The elderly generation, they were just, without practice, they were joining
They already had it in their mind.
So that was another first mass. After my wedding, the first mass after my wedding, this a new second first mass.
This is great news of hope for the Aramaic Project. I'm happy. I'm sure the viewers of the followers of the Aramaic Project will be happy to hear you being a mediator and lifting of the spirit of the people and infusing that sense of reverence to the language and to the music tradition. And so it's a great blessing. Ever since I got acquainted with you, I am hoping to someday both of us will be together at my home parish at Palackal. It has a great tradition. Every year they have the Feast of the Assumption, and one of the days they have Qurbana in Syriac. So one day you will come with your choir and I will be able to stand with you and enjoy full Syriac Qurbana.
Yeah, of course. I think there is a momentum. Now we are in the verge of last.
Yes.
We are just picking up from the
deathbed.
But maybe because there is a dissatisfaction with regard to the music we have in the church, one side, and of course the other part, the people have the memory that what treasure we used to have. So these two things are functioning together, I think, in the present. I think the problem is people don't appreciate. The young generation, they are not exposed to. They never had a chance to hear. So this is our duty to make it available. So far, my experience is this: that once you make it available, they appreciate it.
Okay.
So it's our own fault that we haven't made the things
available to them.
So that's a positive thing.
Yes, very good. Let us sing one more song for maybe Shuhalava.
One of the songs, Raza, we don't celebrate the full form of songs of the Raza. Maybe much ancient, which Portuguese might not have put their hands. It's not influenced by. One which I feel very archaic is of the Sartang Pranam.
Yes.
Lalam almin, lalam almin, Yamin Rahmai Kumaran Nisho, Angan Vashralama, Anal Marisa.
Wow.
I need a.
Where is this? I have never heard a song in that style. This has an Arabic flavor, a Middle Eastern flavor. I haven't heard it at all.
Because it is
twice.
Because this is in the Raza portion, so usually it is not heard. Only once, very very rarely to be celebrated. So people may not be. Even
I never had a chance to hear.
I am in the process of learning of it.
Okay.
Because,
so where did you learn that melody from?
I used to go to the mass of course, Plato.
Oh, George Plato. Great man. Yes.
It's of course our Malpan.
Manuel Telly.
But he's not a singer.
Yes.
Proper sense. But one of the things, interesting things which I have noticed, these people, even though they are not singers, but once they start chanting or singing the singing, they get into that mold of
yes, because there is an inherent musicality in the very language, in the phonemes. Yes. Okay, let's go back to the singing part of it.
Lalam lalam almin, lalam lalam almin, yamin ratmaik maran nisho, ankan vasralamma, vanadumarai sa, Maria ratmaik lalam, vavari daike, la tarpe vidai visha.
My goodness. And that I don't get that inflection. That is, sounds very typical Syriac. I never heard it from Malayali priest. Although I heard from one priest, he is no more, Father Henry Suso, in a CMI priest. We had a meeting before recording the Kambel Maran, and he was in the meeting. And when he spoke, there was a kind of inflection, that kind of inflection. But I never heard it from anywhere else. How did you get that?
I think I have seen one of your videos where you are interviewing Bishop Joseph Kalaranga.
Yes.
But still, I see that there is a Syriac special
vocal
inflection. Is there something peculiar which can be found only in Syriac singing?
Okay.
That element is there.
Yes.
So I myself feel, though I haven't reached up to the target, I constantly practice. I try to get into the soul of the song. One of the videos
you don't. Still, I am not satisfied with your answer. How did you get that particular vocal inflection? Where did you get it?
Of course, I have been listening to various CDs. Apart from being part in the live Qurbanas of or our own Syriac singers, Father Matthew Mattam, Father Joseph Qurbana. Whatever I do, I try to get into. So I keenly observe and try to imitate that.
Okay.
So I haven't. Since when I have started singing the full mass in Syriac, we have so many masses celebrated in 6-7 years. So each time I aim to get close to what my ancestors used to sing, to get into. So maybe that is the reason.
But yet we don't have a recording of those people. So did you listen to people recordings from the Middle East?
No, I don't. Maybe this the Urdu gazhals, the Hindustani music.
Yes.
Those things might be helping me to enter into this.
Could you please sing once again that text? And what is the context of
this
that
is
song?
During the Sarkala Pranam, the 3 times the priest and the Innum Yennum Yennannekkum Kartavam Mishihaye ഞങ്ങളോടൊപ്പം വസിക്കണമേ കൂടാരത്തിൽ ചെന്നെത്തിയിടാം അവനെ വണങ്ങിടാം. അപ്പം അതിന് പിന്നെ മറുപടി എന്നാലും ഞാൻ കൂടെ വസിക്കും എന്നുള്ള കർത്താവിന്റെ വാഗ്ദാനം. ലാലമലാലമൽമീ യമീൻ റഹ്മയ്ക്ക് മാറുന്നു അങ്കൻ വസ്രാലമ്മ. ഞാൻ I will. Angan is the epicletic word. I will dwell amidst you.
Yes.
This Ashtanga Pranamathile Ruhachana Partha.
Yes.
From Jnanagodappu Vasikum ennulla aashayamanu ivide.
And the song text is only that much?
No, it continues.
Could you please?
In fact, Raza portion I haven't celebrated
yet.
The
Raza.
Yeah. But this part has specially touched me. I felt it's different from all the other songs.
Yes.
Yeah?
Who taught you this melody?
I unfortunately I couldn't directly hear. I used to listen to the CDs which are available. Father Platica himself has.
He has sung this part?
Yeah, he has sung.
There is a CD?
There is a CD, but I think, do we have that CD?
No, I have never heard this at all.
This is in the Raza, the second portion of the CD.
Oh, really?
The first portion has got the normal Syriac mass. The second portion, Raza portion.
Okay, well, I will search for it.
I used to hear how Father Abel sings in your own CD. They have something, what you call that?
Yes, vocal inflection.
Vocal inflection.
Father Abel, Father Probus, it comes.
Yeah. So one of the things which Shangurikan has said, that has been my aim also. One has to get into the soul of the music. So what we are lacking in our present generation, unfortunately, in the liturgical music, we don't get into the soul. So Syriac music has got something divine, something mystical. That I hear whenever I see, whenever I hear people like Father Abel, Father Shangurikan, such people when they sing, there's a different kind of, it's not.
They lived in it.
They lived in it.
It is part of their body and mind.
So it comes out spontaneously. One need not, I have to consciously have, for them that comes spontaneously, naturally. So one has to aim for that. Maybe I constantly aim for that. Maybe that's why.
It is in you. And what gives me hope that you have only started, you are young, age is in your favor, you will get into it more and more. And the Kerala Church and the Indian Church and the world community will profit from your vocal culture and your devotion and your involvement with the tradition.
Yeah, of course there are so many people who mentors or who.
Yes.
There is a group of big group well-wishers who would like the young generation to come in.
Yes.
So there is a lot of blessings from their part.
Yes, very good.
Wishes and support,
Yes.
Moral support, and
Yes.
they those who are in this Syriac, Father Platica himself, he was very happy when I
somebody.
So that I think he himself had a bit of thought that after me this is going to, what is the future?
Yes.
Then I told him, Father, you need not worry, because there are a lot of positive signs. Because this is a pearl which has been treasured all through these 2000 years, and it's not easy to. Lord will not allow that.
Lord will not allow it to be forgotten. Yes.
I have been teaching in the seminary with the student. I found music is one of the best means to impart language. Of course, has been from the ancient times.
Yes.
Scriptures are.
That's the way it was.
It is one of the easiest way. So when I started teaching at my professor who taught Hebrew in the seminary, he asked me to do Psalm number 1 and then teach for our students so that we learn Hebrew.
Oh, in Hebrew?
In Hebrew.
In Kerala?
No, in Satna Seminary.
In North India? Fascinating.
Yeah, that's for Sebastian Kirke, MST. So I did my first tuning for that.
Can you?
That's Ashare Hayit, Ashe Lo Khala. Happy is the man who does not walk in the ways of the wicked.
Oh, okay.
That's a sound. So then when I started teaching, I maybe unconsciously that I started using the means of music to teach Syriac grammar. So the song I composed, song of alphabet. Learning alphabet through music. I will just sing.
Please.
It's Alap Bes Gamal Dal.
Wow, please.
Alap Bes Gamal Dal Suheva Vasai Hestes Yod Kap Lamad Mim Nun Senkase Pesade Kyobre Seta Kyobre Sid aleta, alaha, aleta, alaha. I had a thought, because in the Syriac scriptures we find I'm Alpha and Omega.
Yeah.
That's a Greek letter,
Yes.
but it must have been Aleph and Tau.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? So I am the first and the last.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to teach a theology also through the alphabets, then the
Beautiful.
alphabets, two things.
Uh-huh.
I am Aleph and I am Ta. I am
Okay.
Alaha
Uh-huh.
and God. So I started, and this has come up very well.
Fascinating.
People just, even if they forget the complications of grammar,
Uh-huh.
they will remember these songs.
Uh-huh.
And when I started teaching, I taught from the Kandishala and such simple melodies which will remain.
Yes.
Another with Emmanuel, the inflection, conjugation of prepositions, pronominal suffixes. Yod and artikon, this comes my, your, this inflections. With Emmanuel I have with Yod and artikon, ek hon amman, ammanuve, ammanuve.
Beautiful.
So these are some of the things I started.
It's quite innovative.
Yeah. Through music we can learn language.
Language, yes.
Yeah. Because one of the problems our generation, we are far away from. We have gone very far from this culture. So music is one of the way to bring.
Yeah, very nice. Now, is there any other melody that is in the Raza section of the Qurbana that you can sing that is different from the rest of the melodic repertoire?
I did not, only this one particularly caught my attention. That becomes evidently different. Other songs Odam Haini Baba Vaura Ruhad Kudisha So I think all the other songs goes well with all the truth, but only people like you will be able to differentiate. I myself, I just a beginner, trying to a child who stands at this ocean and wondering how deep, how great.
Yes.
Is this world? I think maybe this is a very good question which provokes me to see what the nuances, how one of the ideas which I have, maybe the Raza portions, they are still older, the songs coming from. That's.
I'm curious. You right now in your life you live in Rome, and you go to Santa Croce University. And in Rome, you encounter Chaldeans and Syriac speaking or Syriac using people from around the world, whatever part of the world that they still use. So, did you ever have a chance to communicate with them, sing your part of the melody to them, and listen to their reactions to you? Your articulation of the Syriac language, Syriac phonemes, the melodies, any such opportunity did you have yet?
To say the fact, no. Once we had a Mach here, the Chaldean.
It may be a good idea just to sing to them and see their reaction, how you articulate these words. Because their Arabic has influenced their Aramaic articulation, vocal inflections. So I'm curious how they say, oh, that is similar to us. Oh, that doesn't sound like ours. So it may be a good idea for you to just throw it and get their feedback.
Yeah, one of the, I haven't directly got into in exposing or getting their feedback, but normally the reaction it's different from. But I have shifted, completely to a new world, of course, so that this will be helpful for later re-entering. Now, because the studies here is, for me, it's very tiresome, very difficult. It requires a lot of effort.
Yes.
So within this, I haven't. It's by the grace of God I'm here. I was in another seminary where there's no much chances of mingling. And
for that, I think we should be grateful to Father Varghese, the rector, who is so open to these things, who encourages you to bloom and keep up the tradition.
He would like to make available a lot of opportunities. So I think it's because of the heaviness of the study, I myself stand bit, because at present what I focus a little bit a recluse.
Oh yes, I understand.
So that
I went through that process.
Yes. So I find myself.
But then you will come out.
Yeah, I find myself. This is a part of.
It's a pupa stage.
Yeah. I'm interested in history also, our own tradition, and how here we face the challenges. How Santoro, did he ever come there? So I think one of the best means of proving is what music we sing, how our language is archaic. That's why I said that certain words they reflect our community. We still carry certain elements which trace us back to the 1st century AD or sometimes second or first BC. So these are times for reflection, and we don't have much time to.
But one thing that I'm very happy about this Aramaic project and this particular interview, because we are documenting you at this point in your life. And you are emerging not only as a singer, but also because of the topic that you chose for your doctoral dissertation, you will delve deep into the Syriac language. So one day people can come and ask questions, Father, is this word correct? Was the other word correct? Do I say it right? In fact, before the Mass, I asked you to correct me in the vocalization of the institution narrative, and I'm so happy that you corrected me.
It's like Buddhanagon.
Yes.
It's another way of that. What Father Charles Maimon has said, Aramaic way of thinking. That's typical example is this Buddhanagon.
Yes.
That's that humble way of. This is such things. Before coming to Rome, I used to think, I know a lot of things. But after coming, how little I know.
Yes.
Of course, then I'm getting exposed to different cultures, different ways of music.
Yes. Now, we didn't sing too much during this interview, but I would seek your permission to put some of your recordings for the viewers of the Aramaic Project.
Yeah, of course.
Those who follow. So that way they can get in touch with you, because you sang the pre-celebrants portion. And so it's a great blessing. We look forward to see you growing higher and taller and deeper and deeper and enriched.
Maybe that's if we are instruments in the hands of God.
Absolutely.
So my view is that we need to have a balance in without not forgetting the roots.
Yes.
If you don't have the roots, you don't have the tree.
Yes.
So it should go hand in hand. So people like you and we try to expose the root, the radical aspect of and how blessed we are, tradition we belong to.
Yes, absolutely.
The Aramaic.
That drives me forward. It is such a golden treasure of family history. And not only us as Christians, but also part of the history of India. But this is what India is all about.
It's also politically, as you said, of course, we are a very ancient community. And I don't know, even before the so-called Brahmins come to Kerala,
this was here.
This was here.
Yes.
So maybe 2nd century BC onwards.
Yes.
That Otherwise, such elements cannot be in a language, cannot be reflected in a
seeped into the very common parlance. These words.
I would like to. This my wish. How this Semitic culture, how far it is related to Tamil culture, Tamil literature, Tamil language. This will be a very challenging one, very fruitful venture, but that also will ultimately help to prove how ancient we are.
That makes me curious to think that do they have the Pesach Appamurikil service among the Tamil Christians anywhere in the regions closer to Kerala? Even if it was there, it was, at one time maybe it was there, but it failed out. Because our Appamurikil service is so typical, so
of course,
fantastic tradition.
Such questions, these questions have come into my mind after coming here. Once I started learning Greek and Hebrew.
Saji, we will conclude. I am so happy. I feel blessed on this very special day of the feast of Saint Joseph. I had the opportunity to say the institution narrative in Syriac, and you helped me to correct my pronunciation. And I feel the viewers will be happy that you as a person are there. So you give us a lot of hope that somebody who knows both the nuances of the language and the music and your particular vocal inflection. And God bless you, and please pray for the success of the Aramaic project. And we will definitely keep in touch. I look forward to us standing together on the altar at Palackal, my native church. Because there, Palackal tomb is right on the altar.
I'll be happy to.
Yes, we will still there. We will ask His blessings, and then we will sing together.
Of course, I would like to add one more thing. It's not me alone. There is a young generation of priests as well as others. I'm only a part of that.
It's good to know. That gives more hope. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Arannisho Malkas Gida Daskab Dhashe Mauta Truna
Pradalaha Dashtaudilan Haye Hadse Malkus Rauma
Battal Mannan Kolne Gyani Basrabasran Shainaurahume
Davyom Denaha Nehidamai Nepoklurha Aksevayana
Bedoshane Navelashma Altaibusa Dalwas Gansan
Daskivra